All the reaction to the first Clasico, the Copa del Rey semi-final in Spain, has been rather extreme, as you might expect from the papers. The owners of the Bernabeu, following Barcelona's 3-0 win. Vinicius plays, Suarez kills, is the headline in AS. And then finally, lethal final was what Mundo Deportivo led with. An excruciating night in many ways, Gab, for Real Madrid. They couldn't even take advantage of a night on which Lionel Messi looked decidedly average. What do you sense the reaction is in Madrid?
I think, look, you're going to have a portion of the Madrid fan base that are going to be unhappy, which is obviously more than understandable. I mean, you just got spanked 3-0 at home. Equally, I like to look at performances. I don't think their performance was that bad. In fact, I think it was quite good. But they ran into a Barcelona team that did two things that really many of us didn't expect. One is Messi had a very ordinary game by his standards, and others stepped up at the attacking end, which in the form of Luis Suarez and Ousmane Dembélé, which is not something that we've seen very much of. And defensively, they were very, very solid. I thought they did a very good job, other than a couple Vinicius initiatives. I thought Marc-Andre ter Stegen really wasn't under threat that much. And they were ruthless, and they were clinical, and they were happy to concede the initiative to Real Madrid. And these are things that we saw in theory from Valverde's Barcelona, but we've never seen on such an accomplished scale. So I think for that reason, people in Madrid, it's kind of squeaky bum time.
Yeah, well, they don't have long to lick their wounds, do they? Real Madrid going at it again in the next Clasico on Saturday. They trail Barcelona by 9 points heading into that tilt. Atletico Madrid also sandwiched in between them. Barcelona, slight favourites, 13-10. Real Madrid, you can get almost 2-1 on them to win. 11-4 the draw. Craig, as Gab said, Real Madrid did some good things on Wednesday. Can they take those, though, into this next game?
Well, Vinicius Jr. in particular, did a lot of good things up till the final third, and then for either a bad touch or a bad finish or some good goalkeeping from ter Stegen, they didn't get the job done. Now, They didn't play badly going forward, but they didn't defend particularly well at the other end. I don't know what the boys think. I don't think Solari can survive another result like this. I think if we have a repeat of this result, regardless of the performance, I think he's in big trouble 24 hours after the game. So I think that's how tight it is for him.
Any sort of defeat, you think he may be on the...
Particularly one by 2 or 3 goals like that.
I mean, he is struggling, but do you get rid of him whilst they're still in the Champions League? I'm not so sure they would. But at the end of the day, I don't care who you are, whether you're Barcelona or anybody else. If you go to Bernabeu and you sit in a decent shape and keep it tight, you've got a chance. Because the front three, really, Benzema and Vazquez in particular, are not getting anywhere near any of the other decent teams in the world. They're just not. And Vinicius, you're putting all your eggs in an 18-year-old. So going forward, no wonder Barcelona can go there and just keep a good solid position and then break on them. Because that's all you got to do. The front three, in my opinion, are awful.
So does Santi Solari, staring at this in the face, need to change anything, change things up?
Well, I think Vinicius was certainly provided a big threat going forward.
Plenty of chances.
Yeah, plenty of chances. But the problem with having an 8-year-old create those chances, in big games, you're probably not going to get a consistent finisher, at least not yet with him. With Bale in there, do you get someone that's a little bit more of a complete finisher? I think you lose a lot of that pace. You lose the dynamicism that Vinicius can bring. But to me, when watch this game, not only did they create chances, they actually created more opportunities. And I saw Real Madrid attacking with just that front three too many times. You saw the possession. You would think they would have been able to get a third player into the penalty area while someone's serving the ball from the outside, because there were 2 or 3 or 4 times the ball actually was played back across. You had a runner making a back post run, a near post run, and that penalty spot area was left wide open. The ball just ran right through the penalty area. I think, listen, Real Madrid, if they take their chances, it's a different story in this game. But again, that's part of soccer. And I think you saw Barcelona was much more clinical.
But they weren't ruthless. Santi Solari saying Barcelona were completely ruthless. Does he need to be? Does he make a change? Does he need to make a change, Craig?
Well, I mean, he could put. It's not Vinicius Jr. might not need to come out. He could take Lucas Vazquez out and put Bale in. Let's not forget he's got Asensio on the bench as well, and he's got Isco who's been completely shoved to the side. And I think for that reason, when you've got star players out the squad, and when you've got a star player in Gareth Bale, who's not always the most popular there at the Bernabeu, but we know what quality he's got. I mean, you've got Asensio on the bench as well, and you're not getting the results. That's why I think the Champions League isn't really a big barometer for the owner or for the president, Perez, because if you're losing, and they haven't lost, but if you get beaten twice in the space of a few days against your biggest rivals, and it's by 2 or 3 goals, I think you're painting a picture very bleak for the Champions League under Solari, and that's why I think it's a big, big game for him.
With this group of players, though, what's a different manager going to do? We're talking about making changes.
What's the difference with Man United? What's the difference with Bayern Munich when Heinkes comes back in during the season? It's no different. The same players.
I mean, do they need motivated? I don't think they need motivated. Manchester United, for example, the problem with them was they'd no motivation to go and play. Absolutely none. Real Madrid's problem isn't they want to play, it's the personnel's not good enough. We're talking about making changes. What has Bale done on and off the field to get on the field? Asensio has completely disappeared, and Isco's disappeared because Santi Solari wants nothing to do with him. So what's a change of manager going to do?
Well, that means you've got to get results.
You can find a way to add those 2 players that really have been non-existent, and hopefully you get a better Bale out of it. I think I'm not saying Solari should go, but I do think Solari needs to open his mind up to bringing in players that have some defensive frailties, as Mourinho used to do, and say, listen, don't defend. You go do your best for me going forward, and let the other players basically cover that position. And I don't think Solari has set up the team to do that.
Gab, Santi Solari's hardly the first Real Madrid manager to be dominated at home by Barcelona. Barcelona have had the best of Real Madrid for the best part of a decade, haven't they, at the Bernabeu? But is he in trouble if he loses twice in the space of 3 days? Serious trouble?
I mean, I don't think in terms of getting sacked now, I don't think that's going to happen. But, it certainly could foreshadow a change in the summer. You have to remember that, Real Madrid, I'm going off the top of my head, but, they only won the league once under Zidane. I think if memory serves, they've won it, twice in the last 6-7 years, something like that. They generally haven't bested Barcelona domestically, and that's kind of been the normal run of affairs. They've obviously done it in the Champions League. Certainly Florentino, I don't think, feels that the personnel is that much worse than last year. It's the same midfield as last year. The defense arguably is better, certainly defensively with Reguilon in there, and Courtois, been seen as an upgrade over Keylor Navas when Courtois plays. And now you have Vinicius. And of course, you lost Cristiano at the other end, but people were supposed to step up. So I think Solari's made the unpopular choices, and now Florentino is stepping back and saying, okay, so I gave you license to make those unpopular choices. I'm not forcing you to play Isco or Bale or Asensio, but you got to deliver at the other end. And if you can't make it work without those guys, I'll find somebody else who'll give it a go.
Finally, boys in the studio here, prediction time. Barca going to silence the Bernabeu again?
Barca win.
Yeah.
Barca win.
Yeah.
2-2.
2-2. Okay. The voice of dissent.